Hello and welcome back to the Banner Saga 2. Having killed or run off the cragsmen, you return to the remaining clansmen at the Godstone. Grabbing your belongings, your foot hits something in the mud. You reach down and find a small skull with a yellow ribbon through the eyes. You toss it in the bag without another thought. Gained Fallow's Rebirth. Yes, is that bonus renown going to affect me on repeat playthroughs, I wonder? I'll be curious to see if it does. I think I'm going to camp up and let people heal because I've got quite a few injured people at the moment. I think. So yeah, let me see. Get Iver back in. Get the prince out. And get Ogo back in. And you out. So yeah, 2 days rest would be sufficient to level everyone up. Promote you to rank 5? Yes, I think so. And I think I'm going to promote you to Broker curses the spirits at his enemy, forcing that character to attack him on his next turn. With high armor, it takes little or no damage from the assault. Yep, I want you to have that. Because that lets you taunt the enemy, and taunts are always very useful. Especially if I boost that, and that. And then I'm going to give you Robust. I'll start giving you Robust. Confirm that. Okay. So what was the item I just picked up? Protect from death unless strength is 1. Very useful to have. -3 armor though. 35% chance to dodge strength attacks. I'm going to give it to her, I think. So what's she currently using? Yeah, +1 armor, +1 strength, +1 will. As opposed to that. I'll think about it. Actually, she can't get it at the moment. Actually, no, she is rank. Okay, she's sufficiently out of rank. What does that cost? 17. Yes. So, what was I going to get you? Is it critical hit chance or something like that? Yeah. Plus 15 chance for bonus crit. And she can level up again. Or she could if I had the renown, which I don't. But yeah, she is easily my MVP. Anything in the training tent? I don't think there will be, but maybe another time. So rest, rest, and one more for good luck. Okay, that should give everybody a chance to heal. So let's get the hell out of here. The rain finally ceases, but the wind picks up. You squint into the gusts and have a clear view of the vast plains ahead. There doesn't seem to be much out there, Iver says. His tone conveys wonder and concern in equal measure. Grundar. Always useful to visit a town. Admittedly, I now have very little renown, so I can't buy supplies, but oh well. The ground shakes again, enough to cause the Yoks to strain at their leads in panic. Out here in the plains with nothing but open sky above, you feel remarkably vulnerable. Only a few trees around, and no mountains, Hacken says in a wry tone. Looks like we'll only have to worry about the ground opening beneath us. He shrugs at the look you give him.
Grundar almost looks forgotten by the rest of the world. Maybe those who live here have forgotten the rest of us too.
Possibly. In a field just outside of Grundar, a caravan spots several creatures you assumed were myth. I don't believe it. Are those... 2 horseborn hold simple bronze weapons and stand guard over a few others who look wounded and unable to rise. The size of the caravan makes them nervous. I have to get a closer look. Me too. The 2 of you advance 100 yards, showing every sign of respect and peace. A number of clansmen push closer too. The male horseborn stomps a hoof repeatedly. The female, tail whipping, brandishes a javelin. Damn, the caravan's scaring them. Everyone, move back! Your sudden shout spooks the female horseborn. She throws a javelin which pins the ground near your feet. Several archers fire, but their shots are wide. Hold! No more arrows! The male says something in what sounds like a long stream of consonants. The female lowers her second javelin. We just want to help. The male's tail swishes. You... help? His voice sounds strained and his mouth moves uncomfortably around the foreign words. Yes. Help. Oddleif steps aside as you wave to Evian for help. The female looks agitated. She speaks their strange way. The male responds to her, then turns to you. Help. Roech. And others. I'll try. This is certainly a first. The standing horseborn step aside, allowing Evian to approach the wounded fighters. With Evian and Juno tending to the wounded, Roech and the other horseborn, the caravan settles down outside the scant town of Grundar. It appears the town is enjoying a small festival. Quite a few clansmen go over the hill to enjoy the sights and sounds, but soon return looking disappointed. They called us outsiders, a woman says. They don't want us interrupting their wheat harvesting festival, but the merchants don't seem to mind trading. Clansmen soon shrug it off and take renewed interest in the horseborn, some in awe, others in disgust. Okay, let's talk to the horseborn. Thank. You glance at Ubin, who snorts and smiles. Scantax's thanking you for helping his friend Roech. Deirdre's the other one, but she's not in a talking with Valds and humans mood. You're welcome. I'd like you to meet Hakon. Scanthak's tail swats his flanks, and he bows his head towards Harkon. Val. Mans. Same herd? No, but we're no longer enemies. I haven't seen horseborn in centuries. Last they knew, humans and Val were at each other's throats. What happened to Roech? Roech. Brave fighter. Protect food. Hit many times. Hit? Who was attacking? Scanthax says many things in his other language. I hate you people sometimes. Seriously, what is it with games where I'm doing all the parts and having completely unpronounceable things? Trigger Cathane. His eyes go wide and he stomps the ground before pointing west. You look at Ubin. Don't have a clue, but clearly not a friend. Was it people here? Here in Grundar? Scanthak looks to where Hakon is pointing and shakes his head and points west again. The Val King eyes Scanthak suspiciously. What brings you so far north? Scanthak looks confused by the question, so Ubin shows him the map, pointing to Dalalond and Grundar. Food. Our plains break. Hakon snorts. Might be justice. Didn't they kill all the horses Scrivener? His ancestors did, yes. But blaming folks for things that happened hundreds of years before they were alive? Might as well accuse the humans around us of starting the Great Wars. How do you know our language? Stanthak just stares at you. You talk like us. Where did you learn? Heard little trade with mans in mud. I think he means our bog friends, the cragsmen. Have you found the food you were seeking? Enough for time, I guess. 2 others take to herd in south. His hooves scuff the ground during certain words. Just those 2? What about you and the couple? Scanthach, Roek and Deirdre stay. This herd help. We help this herd. Thank you. Scanthach nods in a movement that uses most of his upper body. Man. Val. Horseborn. Same herd. Funny. Ubin chuckles and you smile, while Hakon shakes his head and walks away. Okay, gaining the horseborn feels like we should have more training to do. Nope. Okay. So what do we got here? So yes, we've got these 2 now. Horseman Toulouse. So what's your special attack? Trample! The horseborn charges forward and tramples an enemy, then attacks from behind. So have strength damage during the charge, so currently stuck for 1 strength per tile. The horseman moved before the trample and is left concussed, suffering 20% damage on his next attack. Nice. That's pretty awesome. Croeth. He uses a mule kick, delivers a devastating kick with his powerful horse's legs, damaging the target's armor and sending him flying across the battlefield, leaving him stunned where he lands. Violent hit as well. Be careful who's in the knockback path. And you, poison tipped, uses a javelin tip with deadly poison to make sure her enemy doesn't forget her after her initial sting of her attack passes. Nice. So are you a ranged unit or a... Nope, that doesn't help me. Okay, I'll have to experiment with these guys. But yes, I could see me swapping in... Possibly for Nid. I like Nid, but she has a habit of getting the crap kicked out of her. So I think I'll swap in you. Because I think you're a ranged attacker. Actually, I could... Actually, no. A balance of ranged and melee would make sense to me. So we'll see how that plays out. And anything in the market. We don't have a lot of renown, so we can't afford terribly much. But we can afford basically bugger all. +3 to all talent ranks. Jesus Christ. Ring of bygone kings and slaves, scribes and warriors, an eternal promise of strength for the task at hand. +20% and chance of double damage. Nice. So we have enough supplies, if I'm honest, for what we're going through, so I think we're ready to move on. Now that Rourke's had a chance to heal, 2 of the Horseborn are headed south to deliver some supplies to their people. What crazy ideas in your head, Scrivenger? With the world falling apart around us, there may not be another chance to trek down south. Everyone's free to do what they want, but you'll be missed. Remember that when it comes to dealing with Ruger as well, he wants to depart, by the gods, let him. You taking the hide muscle with you? I'd feel better if Gunnar stayed with all of you. That blade of his is sure to attract the wrong kind of attention. Wrong attention might find you anyway, then who will protect you? I'm old, not an idiot. I've learned a few tricks to keep my head on my shoulders. The younger Varl shrugs and walks off to find food. Then be safe, Ubin, and join us again if you can. You know where we're going. Don't worry about me. Just make sure you're alive to see this thing through to Arborang. Farewell. Scrivenger says a few more goodbyes before departing with the horsemen. Lost some morale there. The governor catches up with you and asks for a moment of your time. His bodyguard is still beside him, silent. It's not getting any easier, is it? It probably won't get easier until we get to Arborang. Quit fooling yourself, girl. The capital's going to be a different battlefield, but a battlefield nonetheless. We'll see when we get there. That's a reaction. If you wait for people to attack before acting, you'll wind up with a blade in your gut. That's enough. Fine. I'll keep a lookout for anyone acting strange while you keep pretending everyone's your friend. His shoulders slump and it looks like he regrets what he just said. Get us across this wasteland. And try not picking up any more strays, will you? He sneers in the direction of the Horseborn before leaving you. Let's be honest, I think they pull their weight much better than you do, matey. It's actually kind of pleasant in this bit. Yeah. A few of the weavers have been smiling more than usual lately, and now you know why. Alio leads children out from behind a cart in new costumes. Some have horns on headbands, while one redhead girl wears a green cloak like yours. The boy wearing a red cloak is carrying an axe. The entire caravan gathers around to watch the performance. The young actors stand behind a short wall and discuss an approaching dredge army. As a black cloth rolls across the ground in front of the actors, a young man in red armor stands up and shouts, "Bellower!" This is a reenactment of the Battle of Boersgard. Continue watching. A dark-haired girl holding a spear says, "We'll get no help from the governor. We're on our own." A few people in the crowd laugh while Ruger stares at the skald. The young Rook, Alette and Varl run towards the fierce Bellower, attacking and being repelled. Finally, the girl dressed as Juno hands Rook a silver arrow. Rook hugs Alette and shoots the arrow, and Bellower roars. Stand and watch the ending. Bellower grabs Rook by the throat and growls, and you sense heads in the crowd turning towards you when a Leo and a Weaver suddenly snap a caravan's banner in front of the scene like a curtain. As the banner lowers, the young version of you cradles the boy dressed as your father. The other actors stand in a semicircle around you and begin singing a familiar tune. The crowd joins in, and an impromptu line forms with everyone walking by to lay a hand upon your shoulder. We needed that. A metal clanking is heard in the distance and grows louder. You see a yox cart surrounded by 4 Varl and an older woman hitting a ladle against a pan. All sorts of things for sale, she says. Her eyes go wide when she looks at you. It's you! Special deals when it comes to you. How do you know me? Word travels fast, she says. Think you can slay a sundry and keep it secret? She clicks her tongue and shakes her head. Mirda knows of you, sure enough. Let me see what you have. Of course, Madia says. But make up your mind, Madia will be gone as quick as she arrived. Don't get any ideas about sneaking off with things. These 4 Varl have the keenest eyes and sharpest blades, and the shortest tempers. You feel the Varl watching your every move. You got Outworth buying for 14 renown. Extra will, always useful. That's... I still maintain that would actually be really useful to give to Oddleaf. An easily hidden but stout blade for quick softening an opponent. Can't afford that, it doesn't matter. +2 movement, +2 strength, +2 break. Yeah, I'm gonna get that thing. And I'm gonna give it to Oddleaf when I have an opportunity. Actually, I better do it now or I'll forget. Because upping her range seems to me a sensible move. Because she's currently got that, which is +2 strength, which is useful, don't get me wrong. But that, yeah, brings her up very nicely. Don't have any renown to promote her, which is a pity, but she's almost at rank 9. In fact, she's almost certainly got the kills to get all the way to rank 10, I would have thought. Because I suspect that takes 30 kills. Meanwhile, this thing is going to go to... Oh, you can't equip... Can you not equip... Ah! It's a level 6 item, gotcha. Sorry, it's a level 7 item, bloody hell. But that is +2 strength. Yeah, I'm going to give that item to Alette, I think. Give you the obsidian ring. And yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Okay. It's a pity you can't sell items to people, because when I have ones that I'm not using, it's kind of annoying. No. Probably won't be able to get any more training until another major event, I wouldn't have thought. Ahead, the caravan comes to an immediate halt. That's the second Feyan shoe this bloody beast has thrown in a day, the Yox tender curses. It'll take some time to see to the Yox, so you call for camp. While most of the clansmen sleep or lose themselves in drink, Juno requests a moment to speak with you alone. I'm impressed so far, Alette. You've managed to keep your composure through tough situations. Thank you. Not to pain you with further comparison, but you remind me of your father at the Godstone of Stravs. Determined. What actually happened there? Your father faced down his fears, walking through thousands of dredge to obtain the only weapon that could bring down Bellower. That's incredible and frightening. I don't know if I could do something like that. The Valkyr gives you a maternal smile. Neither did he. Juno patiently awaits your reply. Tell me his death meant something. I can't do that. Rook's death was unfortunate, but his life was very important. The people he brought here from Skogar, including you, and all the others along the way, being forged into what the future will require. The previous era of peace is over, One of survival has begun. Harboring may be the best shelter for the coming storm, but the people there are soft, too dependent on a society that no longer exists. Because of the dredge. Partially, but mostly because of a coming darkness that is pushing the dredge. You keep talking about darkness, but no one has ever seen it. You've seen the signs of it coming. Dredge in numbers, the land breaking apart. It is a force unlike any other. I wish I could say more, but even the Mender Council is ignorant of this. Thank you. I should get back to helping the others. Before you go, there is one thing I must address with you. The serpent. The chasm at Orsmandar and the tremors in the ground concern me a great deal. Yeah, me too. Should that incredible creature ever resurface, do not attempt to stop it. It would take power unseen in ages to affect the serpent. If you see it, run. Her words chill you as you find yourself nodding at her command. Okay, I'm going to have one last double check of the training guy. Nope. I said it'd be nice if it told you when there was more training available. Because I want to know what we get for completing all of his training scenarios. I'm expecting either a level 10 item or quite a large quantity of renown. A scout runs up to you. There's a woman tied to a tree up ahead. Got 4 guards watching her. The strange news draws a good deal of attention from the caravan. The bound woman is ranting and spitting at the 4 guards when you arrive and ask, "What's going on here?" "This is a witch," one guard says. "Plaguing our clan, making everyone really sick. We caught her, brought her way out here." The others nod. "So she used to be tied for 5 days without food or water, then cut loose. Been 3 days so far. But she'll die on her own after that long with nothing to eat or drink." "It's not for us," the guard responds. "If you want to set her free, we'd be bigger fools than you to get in your way. Consider what to do." Isra, any thoughts? Isra smiles and saunters toward the tied woman. She says a few quiet words to the prisoner and looks over before returning. "My suggestion," she says, "burn her and the tree to the ground. You consider what to do." Charming. How do you know she's a witch? Everyone looks at the woman who's grinning a toothless grin. She scratches at the tree bark and calls out the dead gods one by one. "If that's not enough," the guard says, "she was seen squeezing mistletoe berries into water troughs. I think I heard that makes you sick." The other guards bob their heads in agreement. "Let her go and everyone go their own way." The guard looks shocked and shakes his head. "Foolish idea. You're on your own letting her go." All 4 guards run off in different directions. You wave the caravan on and stay behind to cut the woman free. She slumps to the ground weak. You leave her water and a small amount of food. As you walk away, she screams gibberish that chills you, but you don't look back. I was half expecting to take a morale penalty for that one. I'm sorry, even in a world of magic, tying people to trees and burning them alive because they're witches is just terrible. You notice the archer, Nid, because she's standing perfectly still, looking out into the distance. Let me guess, you see more grass? When she turns to you, she's not smiling. "Dredge," she says quietly. "How's that possible?" you ask, knowing better than to doubt her sight. "I thought we lost them back at the chasm." You can make out a dust cloud on the horizon, which means they can make out one the same produced by the caravan. It's heading in the same direction towards you, towards Lundar. The Valka walks to your side and says, "I was afraid of this. The cracks in the ground along the Eastway Road. It's like that damn crevice at Skillhall all over it," Draken says. "The dredge were just pouring out of it." "Does that mean they could..." Juno finishes the question. "Appear out of almost anywhere?" "Yes. Let's not panic the caravan. Just keep moving." Oh, bleeding marvellous. As if we didn't have enough bloody problems. Supplies starting to get a bit low.
The Archer's Haven, home to the finest Fletchers in the world, though it appears beset with war.
At least the Varl have actually come with us this time. Horseborn! Why are they attacking? Actually, where are our horsemen? I would expect to be able to spot them fairly obviously in the group. Oh, there they are. I see them. Just behind our Varl with his giant shield. Looks like the dredge are hitting the town too. Bleeding marvellous. So sweat, this is bad, Hakon says. Lundar's fighting on two fronts and barely holding it together. Hakon's been warring long before you were ever born. His worried look is unsettling. I always heard the Horseborn had trouble with the walls since they usually fight in open fields, he says. Ubin's the old enough to actually know, but it doesn't really matter. Those walls will barely slow the dredge. And if those dredge flattened this town, we're defenseless out on these plains, Iver says. What are the Horseborn after? All eyes turn to Roic, Deirdre, and Skafak. The three Horseborn in your caravan are pointing and talking excitedly in their own language. Deirdre nods towards Roic, tossing her head and baring her teeth. You're surprised by the look of savage fury on their faces as the couple takes off without warning, charging the attacking Horseborn. While Skafak remains behind, he clearly wants to join them, but he awaits your decision. They could die on their own, Audley shouts, not hesitating to follow Roic and Deirdre. Iver sighs. Well, she's lost her damn mind over these new members of the clan. I'd lose her life for it too. He looks at you. We could fight the dredge or Horseborn, or split up and fight both if you're feeling suicidal. Though we're splitting up, my Varl are hitting the dredge, Hakon says. We're good at that. Yangvar can do what he wants, he always has. You consider options. Tag team them. The governor steps to your side. Alette, splitting your forces at a time like this is... well, it's a childish mistake. Yeah, I've made my decision. Piss off. The Varl follow Hakon through a breach in the town's walls while the rest of your fights and clansmen follow you into the fields. There are more of them than trained fighters with you. Smart tactics could still win this fight. Many of your clansmen will die unless you are victorious. Oddleaf is hemmed near two Horseborn you assume are Roic and Deirdre, but the kicked-up dust cloud blurs your sight. We could drive a wedge straight for her, Iver says, but these Horseborn are fast. If they flank us, we'll take heavy losses. Shield wall. Advance slowly. Keep them from flanking us. Exactly how I would do it, Ruger says. No sense of risking everyone for a few who are foolish enough to blindly enter this fight. This is a bit of a risk. Your army advances against the unknown tactics of the enemy Horseborn. So yes, which means I'm doing this without support from some of my best units, but oh well. Work with what you've got. Yeah, interesting. The Horseborn only take up one slot. I was expecting them to take up two. Get him further forward. Ready? Forward. And the turn. Move up. Yeah, I thought he'd be able to move further than that. And the turn. Yeah, that one's definitely about to throw a spear. Yep. What's the range on your bow? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3. Yes, he is in range there. Okay, move up. Right, he's only just in range. Hit him for massive damage. Ha! You call that an attack? Interesting! They can attack and retreat on the same thing. Gonna have to remember that. Ah! That's how we do it, is it? Fabulous. Hit them both. Should slow them down a bit. Move up. Don't bother wasting the willpower. Go to Bird of Prey. Ah, just out of range. Hit him. Bit of damage, not much, but perfectly reasonable. Move up. Slag and burn. Make it a double strength. Lousy place to stand. Right, I think I'm going to have to end this part here, but thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next.